Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us here on Daybreak. Many college students find themselves in big financial trouble. They're racking up debt and lowering their FICO scores. Now, joining me this morning is Larry Chiang from Duck 9 to talk a little bit more about the issue. And first off, what is Duck 9?
Duck stands for Deep Underground Credit Knowledge, and we also recommend avoiding nines in your credit report, and nines are charge-offs.
Okay, and the reason it's deep underground is a lot of people don't talk about this type of stuff, especially college students. They don't seem to know a lot about credit until sometimes it's too late, right?
Right, and sometimes they rely on urban myths and legend and lore, and sometimes the best source of information isn't a friend of a friend or what you heard from an undertow. It's actually getting information right from a friend that's in the industry, and that's what we try to do.
Got it. So one of the biggest myths, I think, is the free credit report thing. And I know I've been caught up in this. You go to Google and you type in free credit report, you don't get the free credit report. Tell me a little bit about that.
There's a misperception for what really is a free credit report. A free credit report's at annualcreditreport.com, not at freecreditreport.com.
So you don't want to make that mistake, because they end up charging, I think the initial report's free, but then they tack on these other charges.
Right, they're constantly under investigation from the Federal Trade Commission, from the government in using deceiving advertisements. It's very much like Greenland, Iceland, where one's actually green and the other one's actually covered in ice.
Yeah, so let's talk about FICO scores. What is that? How do you get a high FICO score? Because that's a big mission for Duck 9.
Sure. A FICO score is very important in trying to save money in the biggest expense of our life, which is interest. And that FICO score is actually very easily manipulable. And I know that's a horrible word, but it is true. You can try to get a better FICO score just by preparing for it. In a similar way to how a college student or a future college student prepares for their SATs or their ACTs or a GMAT score, you can also prepare now for a FICO score, which is what we advocate doing.
Okay, so what are some of the things that will lower that score?
What some of the things that we want to raise the score, right?
Yeah. What do you have to watch out for, though? That
you want to make your first 24 payments and your first 24 interactions with FICO, the FICO system, and credit scoring. You want to make your first 24 interactions perfect.
Okay.
Where you're making $25 to $30 payments completely, charging $20 or $30 and paying them off completely and 100% on time for 2 years.
Okay.
And by doing so, your first 24 interactions are perfect, and your score tends to stick at 700 or 750.
Okay, very interesting. Unfortunately, we're already out of time. Where can people get more information if they want it?
I think you guys have a site loaded up within your news page site, or at Duck 9, which is duck as in rubber duck, 9, the number 9.
Duck9.com, and yes, we do have a link. It's on our web channel, kolotv.com. Just click on Hot Topics. Thanks so much, Larry, for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good morning and stay with us. We'll be right back here on Daybreak.